Hello, this week I want to show you a tool that you may have heard of before, which is Socrative or Socrative, a couple of ways you can say it. It is an online tool that works really well for formative assessment in the classroom. And since we have done a lot of work with assessment here in the last couple of months, I thought it was something some of you teachers might like to try. It's been around for a while. So like I said, you may have heard of it before, but I'm going to go through just a couple of the features today. So here's the website up in my search bar, and this is where that would take you. And then if you have an account, you could log in. I just logged in with Google. Or if you don't have an account yet, you can go sign up for free. When I click that, I want to just show you what the options are. What I'm going to go through today is the free version. I think it has a lot that you can do. Like any program, you can choose to pay more money to get more features, but I think you can do a lot with it just for free. So you can use this with 50 kids at a time. You will get one classroom name. You can do one activity at a time, and you can do on the fly questioning. That's what I'm going to go over today. And you can also do something called the space race assessment. I won't go over that today, but it is another free feature. Once you log in to Socrative, this is your homepage as the teacher. So you've got some options up here. We're going to focus on the launch page and the results page today. I'll talk a little bit about reports. And you see all of the different features that you have for the free version. Like I said, you will get one classroom name. So this is the name that's been assigned to me. And I know that almost all of the programs we've learned about, you have classrooms that you set up. This program has a classroom name, but there's no need to enroll students or give them their own accounts. All they will ever need is this code, and they will just jump into the program when they want to join an activity. So let's look at that from the student view. I have it open on a couple of screens on my computer and on my iPad so that we can see a little bit better results. But here is what the student page looks like. So to get to this, I just Googled Socrative student, and it's the very first thing that comes up. This is something that you could bookmark. But they get to the student login page, and all that means is they need to enter that classroom name that you've been assigned. So I'll enter that. I'm into the classroom now, and I'm just in this holding screen. So this is what it would look like. It's going to look like this the whole time unless you assign a question. Obviously, to use this program, your students are all going to need their devices open, and they're going to need to be logged in with that classroom code. And so you would just wait to see that everybody has gotten to this holding page. So I'm going to get logged in all three places right now. And so all three of my student screens right now have this holding graphic. I'm going to go over the quick questions first. Again, because these are great formative assessment tools, you might choose to use these in the middle of direct instruction when you want to pause and you want to check understanding, or maybe you've done an example problem up on the board and you want to get a nice quick read of everybody's answers. It's really easy to assign the questions and then really easy to look at the results, which is why I think this would be helpful. So we'll do a multiple choice example first. As the teacher, when I click on multiple choice, I'm going to start looking at the results page. So I don't have anyone that's answered yet. That's why they're all 0%. And you'll also notice that I never typed in a question or answer options. That's because this is a quick question. So that would all be done verbally, or maybe you could write it on the board or on a slide if you wanted. But for example, let's say you're reading a story with your class, you pause and you want to ask them a question about what character did something. You would just verbally say, do you think it was character A? Give the name, character B, give a name, or character C, give the name. You can give up to 5 choices. But again, you'll just verbally give what those options are. Now on the student page, they see that they have, again, all 5 options. And again, no answers are typed in there. No answer options are typed in there. That's what you just gave verbally. And then they're going to make their choice. So let's have this student answer A. This student answer B. And let's look at the results quick. So as the answers are coming in, you're starting to get live results of what percentage of your kids have picked each thing. So I'm going to answer on my iPad now so you can see that this is happening live. So my iPad is going to answer C, and you notice that it automatically updates. So as your class is answering, you could even have this, you could have this projected, or you can just have this for your own use. And you're referencing and seeing where your class is at. Okay. Did most of your class get the correct answer? Or is this is this information telling you to stop and have a discussion about the answer to make sure everybody's on the same page? The student page has gone back to this holding. It's saying you completed the activity, you're just waiting. You as a teacher, you can look at that, you can decide what that data is telling you, and then you can make your next decision. Now that that question is over, I'll just click finish. A common question might be that what do I do with these results? Or how can I get these results? How can I save them? For multiple choice and true and false, you could screenshot it, but I would just stress that remember that this is a formative assessment. As far as grading or knowing that, you don't need the specific data. This would be used to, in the moment, decide if you're ready to move on or if you think you need to do some reteaching or another discussion. So I gave that multiple choice question. We had a discussion about it, and we're going to continue on our work. So I'm going to switch back to the launch page. And this time I want to ask my kids a true and false question. Maybe I solved an example problem up on the board and I have an answer, and I want my students to evaluate true, I have the correct answer, or false, they think I am wrong. So again, I go to quick question and I just click true and false, and it moves me to the results page, and I'm going to get live information about how my students are answering. So we'll say true. We'll find the other window here. We'll say true. I see that 100% of my students so far saying true. Someone else answered. And again, the results are live. You have this little bar, so like a visual representation and the percentage. And so you can see right away, yes, they evaluated my question correctly. We're ready for the next example. Or you get a really quick read that your class is 50-50 and you need to walk through that problem together. Students go back to the holding page, and when you are done, you have your whole class has responded, you can finish that question. You can look at those results one more time and then go back to the launch page. All of your students are just on that holding page, and they just flip back and forth between that during all of your activities. The last type of quick question is short answer. This time you do have the option of putting in a question. You can do this as maybe a discussion question that you want them to think about before they share. You could have this short answer be a time where you maybe put a practice problem up on the board, and then you're going to have everyone submit their answers. So let's go with that one. Answer the problem on the board. I'm going to require that students put their name in there and then click start. So what I have told my students is, hey, you're going to look at the board and you're going to solve that problem, and then you're going to enter your problem in so we can see how we're doing. So I required names. It tells them answer the problem on the board, and they're going to put their answer in. This is for a math example, but you could have them typing out an answer as well. I'm going to make sure, get a couple of answer options in here. And then go back to the teacher board. So here's what it looks like right away. I want to show the answers and show the names, and now I can see every student and what answer they submitted. This would be a really quick check for you to know now, yep, these are the students that got the right answer or are on the right track. These are students that are not on the right track. They didn't even have close to the right answer, and then decide how you want to proceed forward. Again, you can do this with like a math entry, but you could also do this with any type of written out response. And then there's one other cool feature about this, which is start vote. So let's say as a part of this activity, you had split your kids up into 5 groups. They worked on the problem as a group, and then they submitted their answer as a group. You can then go one step further and say start vote. What's telling me right now is if I start the vote, that means nobody else can put in responses. So I'm going to start the vote, and I'm back on the results page. And I'm going to ask each group to look at all the different answers submitted and vote for the correct answer. Or vote for the answer that they agree with or that they also got, something similar to that. So the group would look at the page. They would say, yep, we agree. We got 55. We've double checked our work. We still like that answer. This group is pretty sure 47 is the right answer. And this group submitted a different answer, but they decide actually 55 is the right answer. And now you're just seeing a percentage of votes for those answers that were submitted. You can't, let's say you had the whole class do that and you really only wanted them to vote on a couple of options. That is not a feature. So the vote would be from all of the possible answers that were submitted. But another cool little thing you can do with that if you had it set up correctly and you were maybe working in groups. I just really like that the results are live. So as far as being responsive to how your class is doing, you're getting data right away to decide if they're ready to go on to the next step. So I'm going to finish that one. I'm going to go back to the launch page, and those were the quick questions. Again, you could use those throughout a lesson. If you had your kids log in right away and you were just throughout the lesson, you were going to ask true and false questions or short answer questions. You could use that throughout there. You could also use these for exit tickets. But they also have a pre-made exit ticket option. So again, we've talked a lot about formative assessments, and one of those things we talked about was exit tickets.
To the library, please?
If we click exit ticket, that is what we're going to launch. And here's my results page. So I'm going to see the answer to 3 questions. So let's go to the students. They're going to type in their name. And these first 2 questions, well, all 3 questions really are automatically generated and always the same. The last question can be personalized. So the first question of the exit ticket, multiple choice, just how well did you understand today's material? You're asking your students to just do a quick check. So let's say this person says, oh, pretty well today. The next question is, what did you learn in today's class? This will always be question 2. Your students will actually type in their answer. This is where you might have to set some expectations with your students about how much explanation you want, but we'll keep it simple for this example. And then question 3 is the one that gets to be personalized, in that it just says, please answer the teacher's question. So this is where you could write something specific up on the board. You could give a specific prompt. You could have them solve a specific problem and have them put an answer in here. But this is the one you get to customize. To keep it easy, we're just going to act like it was a math problem. They do all 3, they submit, they go back to the holding pattern. So let's go ahead and look at that. So Kelly responded. I can see right away that she chose B. She was kind of getting it. She has her answer here of what they learned, and then her answer here. You can notice that you can't see that whole thing even if I click on it, and I will show you later how we can see the whole thing. Okay, let's have another person do it. Let's have Jimmy do some work. he was not paying attention today. And then let's do one more. Okay, all three of my students have responded. And so here I'm going to get a running list of the answers. I'm going to learn what the A, B, C, and D means. And I'm just going to get a quick check like, okay, I know Dan feels really good about this. And I know that Jimmy realizes he wasn't paying attention and he's not doing so well. I can get that quick read of my class and they can complete that before they leave the classroom. And again, the first multiple choice question is always the same. The second short answer question is always the same. And then the third one is where you can decide what you want them to be answering. So everyone in my class and my 3 people did that. I'm going to click finish. And then I will show you where you can get the report for that exit ticket. So if I go to the reports tab, I will notice that there's exit ticket quiz. So it is going to keep that report for me. It is also going to keep a report of all of my short answer questions. So those are the 2 things that you could go back and look at later. Again, just for formative assessment wise, not necessarily to assign any sort of grade, just to guide your instruction. But if I click on exit ticket quiz, here's my 3 students. Again, I can say show names, show responses, and then I can export this. Now, if you notice there, I was able to click on the 2. So before I do export, I was able to click on the 2 and go in and see the full answers for that and then flip through if they were long answers. So we noticed on the last page that it gets cut off. If you click on it, you can expand it. But then I wanted to show you export. So let's say you had that exit ticket and you do want to keep it. You want to keep it because maybe you want to use it for evidence or you want to use it for discussion. I'm going to do the results summary PDF. You can always mess around with the different ones and you can download that. So you also saw there was an add to Drive, which would just mean it saves it right into your Google Drive. But to show you, I downloaded it and here is what that looks like. So I have the exit ticket quiz. I can still see how many of each of my students answered this, and then I'm able to see what their very specific answers for the exit ticket were. So if you decided that's something you wanted to keep for information, that is possible. And again, that's on the exit ticket quiz, and that is on the short answer questions. Okay. So I really went over 4 different things there. I went over all of the quick questions and I went over the exit ticket. I picked these ones because I think they're great formative assessments. Again, it's super easy for your students to open their device and just type in this class code and then participate with you throughout a lesson. It's really easy to look at the live results as all of the students are answering their questions. It's not a lot of steps to get to the results. It's not like you have to wait for everybody to finish to start looking at the results. You get that in live time, which I think is really nice. And all of this is free. So you don't have to worry about losing these features after a trial. This all comes with the free version. So your class is over. You've done your exit ticket. You did your quick questions. One thing you might want to get in the habit of doing would be to come up here. This would show you how many kids are participating and clear room. You might want to do that on this free version because you can only use this with 50 students. If at the end of the hour, kids just close their device and head off to another room, they could still be logged into your classroom. By clearing room, you're just kicking them all out. So now they would have to log back in and you have all 50 seats again. What's nice is you can do this once they leave your room. You can do it before they leave your room, but you get to control clearing that and getting all 50 of the seats back. And with our class sizes, um, if you're clearing the room every time, you shouldn't really have to worry about running out of space to use these activities. So, for some of you, maybe that was a review or a reminder of how you can use this. For others, I hope this is maybe something new, something you haven't thought about trying. And as we talk about formative assessment, maybe something you think would be beneficial in your classroom to help you really use that student feedback to help you move forward. Again, this is Socrative.com. Um, if I like bookmark this page, I will come back to it and just have to log in with Gmail when I want to use it. The student version is just Socrative student, or you would bookmark this page here. And again, they only need this code to get in. There's no other steps, which I think is really user friendly. So if you decide to use this and you run into questions or problems, just reach out. If you decide to use this and you would like some support in your classroom while you're giving it a try, reach out. I will support you in any way that I can. And thank you for watching.